Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So continuing on with my kind of little series dissecting a yoga pose. Today's video is going to be on standing forward folds and the halfway lift flat back variation. So Uttanasana and Arda Uttanasana, if you want to know the Sanskrit for it. Before we get started, make sure you are subscribing to my channel and that you turn on your notifications. Hopefully, like with the downward dog and the upward dog, you can get more out of this pose. So let's get started into our standing forward fold pose. Now let's come to our standing forward fold. So I actually like to have students stand with their legs hip width apart. But of course, in yoga, it is your way of expressing a pose. So if you feel like doing this with your legs together, feel free to do so. But I like to cue hip width apart at the legs. So we'll come on down onto forward fold. So this is what we call a standing forward fold. Now our hands could be on the floor if we're more flexible. Our hands could be on our fingertips, or you can even use a block if you have, or a replacement of a block. So in forward fold, we want to focus on hip flexion once again. So I find that people, like in downward dog, people like to focus on how straight their legs are, trying to push so that they can straighten their legs some more. If you've watched my last video talking about downward dog, if we can bend more through the knees, we're more able to free up those hamstrings, and now we're in a better position to bring that belly onto the thigh. So we want to focus on that. That's why in a lot of my yoga classes, I like to cue students to try their best to bring their bellies onto their thighs. And if it means bending more at the knees, then bend at the knees. Because over time, as we gain flexibility, we'd be more able to straighten through the legs in our forward fold. The other thing with forward fold to improve your stability in the pose is to really press down through your feet as you lift the tailbone up towards the sky. So this is going to create an opposing force. So this way, you're more able to stand more stable in forward fold. And then you want to release your neck and bring the crown of the head down towards the floor. And there is our standing forward fold. So if you could let go of having to straighten through my legs and I have to be flexible, now we're not really focusing on that hip flexion. We're actually bringing more pressure onto the low back. So free up your hamstrings, focus on that hip flexion, and you'll feel better through the low back. Less strain for sure. We want sustainability in our practice. The next pose I wanted to talk about was Arda Uttanasana, so half forward fold. So here we actually want to straighten through the legs. First of all, we want to keep a straight spine. One key thing to note is to keep your core engaged. That's really important. If you let your core go, you're going to feel it in the low back. So with your hands, you can either place it onto your thighs, place it onto your shin, onto the floor, or you can use a block. So placing your hands onto the block at different heights. So that you will have to explore which variation serves you best. For me, sometimes I feel like this is nice. Placing my hands onto my thighs is really nice as well, but keep that core engaged. And the second key point is to lift through your kneecaps. This is going to give our hamstrings a nice stretch. You want to lift through your kneecaps. You want to engage your core so that you can protect your low back end. So next, let's do a flow between the half and the full forward fold. So let's come on back down onto our forward fold. So remember what we mentioned before, bending through the knees, focusing on hip flexion, focusing on bringing your chest and your stomach towards your thighs. Let the head go and just breathe. Make sure to press into the feet and lift your tailbone up. For another 2 breaths. And one more. We'll inhale and come to halfway lift. So now we want our back to be flat. We want our legs straight, lift through the kneecap, engage your core. I'm going to place my hands onto my thighs. And you can place it onto your shin or you can place it on the floor as well. And let's exhale, come on back to that forward fold. Remember those key points. Maybe this time you can even straighten through the legs a little bit more as you maintain all of that other stuff. Inhale, come back to halfway lift. Engage your core. Exhale, come on back down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And we'll exhale once again, come back to forward fold. And slowly stacking the spine, taking our time, one vertebrae at a time. Come back up to standing. So I hope this video helps you to think about standing forward folds in a different way. Don't force yourself too much in forward folds to really straighten through your legs. Let those hamstrings go. Focus on bringing your chest towards your thighs. Focus on the hip flexion. If you like this video, make sure to give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment below and let me know if it helped you. Share this with friends who might want to take a look, and make sure you're subscribing to my channel and that you turn on your notifications, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.